Now, listen, you guys, DJ Vlad is coming through with an interesting paragraph. Whether he means what he said or whether he's attempting to create a distraction for the newly released Epstein files, I really don't know what it is. We're going to talk about that. Beyonce made it to the first line of, the mentions when it comes to the newest list that was released. We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to be discussing about how people are vouching for that BBL chef in as far as the Stephon Diggs case is concerned. And at the same time, it does seem like there's a new signee to Roc Nation who is trying to discredit Lil Wayne, and people are beginning to realize that it is actually a trend when it comes to people who disrespect young money. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the tea plug. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great. You guys, I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. Okay, so first of all, let us start with the DJ Vlad, paragraph that he wrote. This is what he said unprovoked, and people are wondering where that came from. He said, "I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all the jury members to convict Tory, and they bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album." They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the pew pew fragments. She was never pew pewed. The LA police are all on Jay's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA, but you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who did that to Tori, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. And then he said, the three Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal all paid off by the RM, by the Rock mafia, And Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory, even though it's a state case. Trump can only pardon federal cases, but knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances. I can't keep these lies secret anymore. If this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. Of course, that tweet got 4.2 million views, and I guess this is what he wanted. I guess he was looking for attention. But I'm just like, how desperate are you for the views to be doing this, Vlad, really? He obviously was being sarcastic, and I guess he was banking on getting views and comments and engagement from people who would be late to realize that he's actually being sarcastic about this. Because obviously, if you look at that part where he's talking about Trump got paid, by Jay not to pardon Tory, I'm just like, okay, what's the point in this? I didn't even get the sarcasm in that because we all know that Trump doesn't have the authority to be pardoning that type of a case. So I don't know what that is meant to do in his quest of being sarcastic. I don't know what that was meant to do. And the fact that he's wording it in such a way to make it seem like it's far-fetched for people to manipulate the outcome in the court is crazy to me. He's intentionally exaggerating how he's presenting these things to make it seem like, oh, something like this could never happen. Oh, this is how ridiculous it is for you guys to think that it's possible for some people to manipulate the courts. Oh, this is how you get what I'm saying. This is not what people ever said. So he's trying to make it seem like there is no possibility whatsoever that a corporate can have an influence on the outcome of a case. That's the point of this tweet. He's trying to over exaggerate everything to make you doubt whatever that you may be putting together so that you can say, oh, yeah, that sounds crazy. Something like this could never happen. The same way that people used to say that it sounds crazy for people to feast on other human beings, People used to say it's crazy. About Peter, you remember? People used to say there's nothing like that, you know? People used to say these are conspiracy theories. And I remember back then when people were talking about these, when, certain celebrities and models were crashing out talking about everything that was going on that island, people would call them crazy. But here we are in 2026 and these emails are being released and people are saying, wow, actually people who were saying this, it wasn't that far-fetched. And this is the exact thing that Vlad is trying to do. He's trying to make you think that, oh, that's far-fetched, it could never happen. People used to call people crazy when they would talk about what happens in these parties. The same thing with the Didla. Denied the stuff. And to try to make it seem like there is no way people can manipulate the court system is insane. And this is the part where I'm like, the same people will be crying about how the court system is not effective when it comes to people they like. But when it comes to people they do not like, of course, it's accurate, it's perfect. It's not possible for the court system to be manipulated. When it's everyone else, yeah, let's advocate for, the court system to be fair and just. But when it comes to someone who is not in the good books with the title swindler, of course the court system is perfect and it's not possible that it could ever be manipulated. And this is what I don't like, okay? You can make your point to say that, well, maybe Tory did this or stuff like that, but to make it seem like it's not possible for somebody who's innocent to be put behind bars, I find that rather insensitive. How many black men have been put behind bars, or women? So if the court system can be flawed when it pertains to certain people, why is it so far fetched to say it can be flawed when it comes to someone that you guys don't like? And I believe this is why certain systems really do not change, is because, we value our hatred for one another more than fighting for what's just and fair. I think as a species, it's hard for us to say that I do not like this person. Okay, I don't like T-Plug, but this is not just what's being done to her. We let our hate determine how we feel about things that are bigger than our hate. We make it the priority. We make it the center of our principles, of our being. If we don't like someone, we don't care whether they're being treated unjustly or justly. As long as we don't like them, nobody cares about how they're going to get treated. And this is exactly why nothing ever changes, and unfair systems continue, and flawed court systems continue to thrive on that. So let me know in the comment section what you think about this insensitive joke by DJ Vlad. And the fact that he also went ahead and said that the Mexican guy who did that to Tori, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer to that. He's trying to desensitize you and make it seem like it's far-fetched for someone to orchestrate, the ending of someone's life behind bars. But we all know that that's something that's very possible. So to make it seem like it's far-fetched for people to think that the people who are responsible for Tori to be in jail would also want him gone, I mean, I don't see how that is far fetched in my own opinion, but I guess he just wanted to make his paragraph longer. And as for the Trump part, I think that's a failed, attempt at sarcasm because, yeah, it's not. It doesn't make any sense anyway. And no one ever said that Jay Z was paying Trump to keep Tory behind bars. This is something that he devised to make his sarcastic claims more ridiculous. No one ever said, I've never seen anyone who supports Tory saying that, oh, Jay Z paid Trump for Tory to not be pardoned. That's not true. That's not true. He just added that to that list to make it seem like people are crazy, which is rather sad. But him also doing that on a day where another Epstein list has been revealed with more names is making people question the intention behind this, as people feel like maybe this is him trying to distract people from talking about what is on that list. Previously, we had known that Jay Z had been nominated, had been mentioned, in the list, but not the wife. However, this time it seems like, well, the wife is really on the first page of the recent files. Yeah, it's actually returned Beyonce, and of course people are wondering what could be the reason why she's on that list. And so people really do feel like, well, this is him trying to get people talking so that when the list comes out, you know he also went further in his comment section and said something sarcastic again. He said, in fact, Jay Z is Epstein. Okay, so clearly he's making a mockery out of people that are trying to hold Jay Z accountable, and this is being done to make you feel like you're stupid for questioning why his name is always involved with some messy people. I don't know what his intention is, but I do hope that if more information does come out, in fact, and if that information implicates the title swindler, he's going to be able to stand on his mockery and sarcastic ways. I hope he'll be able to do that, because when that Diddy situation came out, we saw a lot of people now trying to distance themselves and trying to act like they were not clowning people that were whistleblowing in as far as the Diddler is concerned. I remember when Wenty was for a long time labeled a crazy woman for calling out the Diddler for his wrongdoings, and years later it came out that in fact, people were not crazy. So I do hope these people keep the same energy. I mean, if his own wife is not coming out to defend him, and if he is not even coming out to defend himself, why are you doing the dirty work for him? What happens if that man comes out here and apologizes and starts to say, I was young and dumb, I didn't know all of this, and you were out here acting like he's way above that, he could never do something like that, as if you spent all your days with him? Anyway, that being said, let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you also think Beyonce was doing in that list. But it also is important for us to acknowledge that just because somebody was mentioned in the file doesn't necessarily mean that they did something wrong. It could have been a mention of, I don't know, her doing something, or so let me know in the comment section, you guys, how you feel about the new list that just got out. Do you think that her mention might have been something deeper, or maybe it was an issue of, oh, I'm going to a Beyonce concert, she's performing today, or, well, Beyonce's husband Jay-Z has this in control? What type of mention do you think this could have been? Speaking about Rock Nation, it seems like there is a trend that people are beginning to peep, and it seems like everybody who signs with them all of a sudden finds the need to disrespect Young Money. It could either be Nicki Minaj, it could either be Drake, it could either be Lil Wayne, because the latest signee to Rock Nation is out there throwing shade at Lil Wayne unprovoked for no reason. Mind you, this is someone that this man had previously acknowledged to be great. Let me insert what he had to say and let me know if that was relevant, if that was necessary. Do you think that this nation has some clause where when you sign with them, you're told to disrespect certain people and you're going to get a bigger budget? Like, I need to understand what was the reason to do that and why do people continuously do this? And then this is why it annoys me when I see Lil Wayne trying to kiss the behind of these people, because what are you doing?
I start listening.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
respect
He
it.
had
conviction.
You know, I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I start listening to everything. Like I start maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, this nigga wasn't talking about nothing for a long time. And
I
like,
think that's
you.
what
I
his
thought about
argument
that.
was.
He
you know, like
Yeah.
as someone who like grew up in these communities
Right.
and grew up with homies who I seen want to be because they following Wayne and want to shoot all bar and shit.
Right.
Like I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community, and I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave? And out of a 1,000-song catalog, you know, it's minute on this end.
It's like Georgia Bush.
And
Right.
that do bother me. Man, Tie My Hands.
That's
One of
what
the
I was
greatest
gonna say.
records
Tie
My Hands is
right?
the only one I
and
can
that,
think
and,
of.
and that's the thing. It's like if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out you 1,000 times, you know, your affinity for me is going. You're probably gonna remember me for
Right.
this. And a lot of people don't. You know, as I mature, a lot of my old favorite artists, I'm now like, damn.
Yeah.
Like I love you because I learned how to rap to you, but when you look at the contribution.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. There you heard that. Let me know why you think these people continuously do something like this, and it seems like the script is the same. Come for Nicki, come for Wayne, come for Drake, and somehow all of these people start doing these things each time they start affiliating with Jay-Z. And then years later, it's usually these same people that will come out crying. For some reason, they think that they're better than Meek Mill, they're better than MIA, they're better than people who have been done dirty by Fraudulent Nation. But you know what? One thing about it is we will come back to this conversation when they start crying after realizing that that man doesn't do anything to benefit other people except himself. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Advovo BBL's baby daddy and his lawsuit. So it seems like people are standing in solidarity with the BBL chef. Those who know her personally are saying that she is not a cloud chaser. She's not one to lie. She's not one to do all of these things just to get some coin. She really is a sweet girl, and she's not like Okay, I was about to be mean, but let me not. But basically, Gorgeous Doe is coming through and letting us know how she knows this girl and how she feels like if it is her, then it has to be something that truly transpired. Do you think that at the end of this lawsuit, she's going to win the case, or do you think that maybe Stefan's lawyers are going to win? Let me know in the comment section what you think about that. After this, I don't think that I'm going to be coming back. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Sunday. I am having a wonderful Sunday myself. Yeah, subscribe, and let's see you tomorrow when we start a new week. Until my next one, see you.
Chef Mila, who's suing Stefan Diggs, yes, I do know her, and let me tell you something, she's not lying, okay? I've met a lot of fucked up bitches in nightlife, but Chef Mila, she's not like that. She's real calm, cool, collected. Her energy is real soft, okay? Like, she's the type of bitch, like, if she, like, stays the night with you or you stay the night with her, like, you'll wake up to, like, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, do you want me to make you some food to go before you leave? I'm gonna cook anyways. Like, she cooks for fun, okay? And it's like, when she started to really make it as a chef, right? She got out of nightlife, right? But what I will tell you is somebody who used to work with Mila, she is not the type of bitch that be on some grimy shit. So when she said, I have no reason to lie, I would not lie for my personal gain, I 1,000% believe her. It's certain bitches that I could come on here and tell y'all that whole lying or this and that. It's certain bitches, but when I found out it was Mila who was suing him, I said, oh yeah, he did that shit. Because the thing is when you're in nightlife, you meet a lot of different personalities, and you start to be able to tell who's genuine and like who's not. One thing about Mila, if y'all remember me telling you guys that story time about how I had fell out with Jordanos. Remember when I told you how I fell out with Jordanos because she had met a trick and pretty much she was trying to keep the trick around, so she kept on trying to bring her friends around to get to her trick so she could keep him happy? Remember that situation when I told y'all she was like, gee, don't go to work, we're just gonna be able to hang out, he's gonna pay us, da da da. And then we end up going back to his place thinking we gonna smoke and vibe and chill, and he like, how much your friend want? And remember, I was like, give me 10K, he went in the closet, got the 10K, and then she was like, well, give me some money, and he was like, I got you. And then she ended up walking out, and then I told him I was going to my car, and I took 10,000, got the fuck on. Yeah, okay, cool. The next day, as I'm going through the situation, Yordanos blocked me on social media, so I couldn't see her close friends. I couldn't see anything that she was saying. And Mila, who was a mutual friend, called me and was like, hey, G, I just want to let you know that this is being said. And she did this to another friend. She's been doing this to all her friends. She wants to keep this man around so much that she's literally bringing around all her friends every time he comes in town to try to see who he wants. And he pays them, and she falls out with them because she doesn't get paid. She just gets like some shoes or a purse or some shit. And so Mila, that's the type of person she is. Like, she'll tell you what nobody else will. You get what I'm saying? But her energy never gave line for monetary gain. I promise you. And it's like, for her to have moved in as a live-in chef, if you see what Mila looks like, she is a fine-ass girl, okay? She is a BBL chef. But before she was a chef, she had worked in nightlife, right? And she wanted more. She always knew how to cook. One thing about it, okay? She didn't like girls. If she would have liked girls back then, you know, because she knew how to fucking cook. Oh my God, the bitch knew how to cook her ass off. So for me seeing all of these posts about the whole lawsuit and stuff like that, I will tell you that that girl is not lying on that man. She's not. She's not. And of course, I just had to fight. Like, when this first came out, I was like, who is the chef? So when I found out it was Mila, because there's only really two known female baddie chefs that I feel like in Atlanta. There's Chef Lex and there's Chef Mila. Those are like the BBL baddie chefs in Atlanta, right? And so when I found out it was Mila, I said, yeah, no, she's not lying at all. And it's so fucked up because you want me to tell you what I think happened? I think that he made her a move-in chef, okay, a live-in chef, okay, which of course removed her out of nightlife and everything like that. Of course she's cooking, and then he probably wanted to have, so he needed her to leave. So of course she left. Fuck it. But guess what? Even though she's leaving, she still fucking lives there. But then she wanted to be paid. When you're a live-in chef, you're paid on a salary, right? That means it doesn't matter how many days you have off, you have an agreement on how much you get paid a week, right? So what I'm guessing happened is that week that he asked her to leave, she pretty much was like, hey, like, I'm still getting paid, where's my money? And he pretty much started being a motherfucking nigga, being a asshole. And so she's like, what? Like, okay, I'm gonna just come get my stuff or something like